Hello dear students of class 6. Welcome to Amar Ghore Amar School. Hope you are fine. Today we are going to start our second class on sentence. In the first class we discussed about different types of sentences and the structures of affirmative and negative sentences. Today we are going to discuss something new and more interesting. So, what are those? Let's see. After the discussion of today's class, we will be able to identify interrogative, imperative, and exclamatory sentences, write interrogative, imperative, and exclamatory sentences correctly. So, dear students, have you forgot about Onik and her mother from the last class? I hope you not. Now, listen carefully what happens after Onik returns home from the hospital. Hi dear, how is Mr. Abed now? Oh, he's much better. What happened to him? He was feeling restless. He had suffocation as well. Does he have any pain in the chest? Yes, a little. Here, the underlined sentences like how is Mr. Abed now? What happened to him? Are asking for some information. These are called interrogative sentences. Have you noticed a note of interrogation is used at the end of the sentences? So what is interrogative sentence? Yes. Interrogative sentence is the sentence which asks for something or requests for information. It ends with a note of interrogation. For example, would you give me a cup of tea? This interrogative sentence is basically a polite request. The next example, when will you come? So, this is one kind of a request for information. Now let's see what's the structures of interrogative sentences. Number 1. Auxiliary verb, and then subject, and then main verb, and then other person, and at the end, interrogation mark. So let's take an auxiliary verb first. Say, does. Then the subject, Maruf. Then we need a main verb. Let's take like for this sentence. The rest of the sentence, and note of interrogation. So the final sentence would be, does Maruf like milk? So let's see more example like this. Do you speak English? Can you make tea? So I think this structure is clear. So let's go to the next structure. So for this structure we need a be verb to be the main verb of the sentence. So let's take where. Now we need a subject. Let's take you then. Now the rest of the sentence, cold, and at the end, interrogation mark. So the sentence will be, were you cold? So be verb, subject, rest of the part, and interrogation part. So let's see more examples like it. Is she happy? Or have you a pen? So this structure is really easy. So let's see another structure. Number 3, we can start with WH word, then auxiliary verb, and then subject, and then main verb, and then rest of the part, and at the end, interrogation mark. Hold on, you have a question, I think. What is a WH word? Exactly. So WH word means some question words which starts with W or H. For example, who, whom, whose, what, which, why, when, where, how. These are WH words. So in this structure we start with WH words. Okay, so according to this structure, we need a WH word first. So let's take when. Then auxiliary verb, okay, does. Now we need a subject that can take this auxiliary verb. Yes. Let's take the movie. When does the movie? Now let's take the main verb, start. And at the end, interrogation mark. So the sentence is, when does the movie start? When does the movie start? So let's see more examples like it. How is your mother? What do you want for breakfast? So special note for you. When a question begins with a be verb or an auxiliary verb, that is a yes-no question. For example, are you alright? So the answer will be in yes or no. Yes, I'm alright, or no, I'm not. And another note for you, when a question begins with a WH word, that is an information question or WH question. For example, why are you here? So I think everything is clear to you. Now we can go to the practice session. Yes. So what you need to do, you need to identify WH questions and yes-no questions from the sentences below. So number 1, when is your birthday? So the question starts with when. So certainly we know when is a WH word. So it is actually WH question. Exactly. So number 2 is, are you going outside? Yes. Are you going outside? The question starts with be verb or auxiliary verb. So it is actually yes, no, question. At the same time, we can answer this question with yes or no. Are you going outside? Yes or no. So number 3, does he read in class 6? See, it starts with an auxiliary verb. So we can say similarly, it is actually a yes, no question. So number 4, what is the name of your school? This question starts with WH word. So undoubtedly, this is WH question. Is Tushar a naughty boy? So this question starts with auxiliary verb. And at the same time, we can answer yes or no. So it must be yes, no, question. Exactly. So I think it is really clear to you. Now listen carefully what Onik and Aisha are talking about. I want to go to the public library. Do you know the direction? Yes, of course. Go straight from here and then take left. Cross 2 blocks, turn right, then find out the red building. The library is on the 2nd floor. If you notice carefully, you will see by using all these underlined sentences, Onik and Aisha are asking one another to do something. In other words, these sentences are expressing command or instruction or request. These are called imperative sentences. So you can say the sentences which are used to issue a command or instruction, make a request, or offer advice are called imperative sentences. Basically, they tell people what to do. For example, shut the window, don't go outside, pass the salt please. Now, notice the examples carefully and try to answer these 2 questions. Number A, how does each sentence begin? And question B, which is the subject of the sentences? I'm sure you have the answers. Yes, each sentence begins with a verb. Have you noticed in which form the verb is present in the sentence? You're right again. Its present form or to be form. Imperative sentences begin with verbs that issue a command. Now let's try to look at subjects. Do you see one? No. Because generally, the subject of an imperative sentence is implied, not stated or hidden as it is giving direct order. But if you look closely, you will see the hidden subject is you. Now you know the answers. You already know the structure of an imperative sentence. So let's see closely. Structure of imperative sentences. Number 1, verb and then other part. For example, stop writing, walk fast. So I'm not saying to stop writing, just example. Stop writing, walk fast. Number 2, verb and then exclamation mark. For example, run, help. Structure 3, verb, then other parts, then comma, and then please. Or please, then a comma, then a verb, and then other parts. So let's see examples. Clean your room, please. Or please donate for the poor. So let's see structure number 4. We start with do not, then verb, and then other parts. Let's see. Do not open the door. Don't shout. So these are the example of the structures of imperative sentences. Now let's go for practice. Yes. So what you need to do? Here is a recipe for making Orsa line. Each sentence needs a verb at the beginning. Choose them from the verbs given in the box and write them in the blank spaces. So these are the words. See? Stir, pour, add, take, don't add. So think and try to complete the sentences. Okay, what will be the answer? Okay, dash a clean jug. I think what will be the answer? Answer will be take. Exactly. So we can write down here take. Take a clean jug. Dash 2 glasses of boiled water with normal temperature in it. Okay. So what will be the answer? The answer will be pour. Okay. So see the next sentence. A handful of sugar and a pinch of salt. Okay. So think. The answer will be add. Exactly. Add a handful of sugar and a pinch of salt. Dash with a clean spoon. Okay. So think what will be? Exactly, stir. Stir with a clean spoon. And finally, dash anything else. That means don't add. Exactly. The answer will be don't add. So I think it is really easy for you and you have understood how to use verbs for imperative sentences. So now, before going on to the next section, let's listen what Aisha is saying about her pen friend Steve. My friend Steve Anshel is a tourist. He is visiting Bangladesh and now traveling Rangamati, Khagrachuri and Bandarbans. Yesterday, he went to Nilachal and Chimbuk Pahar hill. On the way, he was surprised to see the floating clouds on the top of the hills and trees around. Many times he uttered, "Oh, what a great surprise! What a fantastic view!" Steve has taken many snapshots of the natural beauties of Bangladesh. Many times he showed me the photographs taken from Rangamati Lake and told me how wonderful your country is. He added, Bangladesh is truly called the beautiful Bangladesh. Steve will explore Khagrachari tomorrow. If you take the underlying sentences into consideration, you will notice all these sentences are expressing Steve's excitement to see the natural beauty of Bangladesh. These are the examples of exclamatory sentences. So, we can say the sentence which makes a statement that conveys strong emotion or excitement is called an exclamatory sentence. Exclamatory sentences express joy, happiness, and wonder. A note of exclamation is used at the end of these sentences. For example, what a surprise! What a wonderful job you have done! How silly I am! So now think about the structures. Exactly. Structures of exclamatory sentences. Number one, we can start with how, then adjective, then subject, then verb, and then exclamation mark. So let's take how first, then take an adjective, beautiful. Then we need to take a subject. Let's take the subject, she. Now comes the verb, is. So, and finally, exclamation mark. So just like that we can say, how beautiful she is. So let's see more examples like it. Yes. How happy he was after listening his result. How clever the fox is. Now go to the next structure. What, and then article a or an, then a noun, then subject, then verb, and then exclamation mark. So to make an exclamatory sentence, let's take what first. Then you need article a or an. Okay, we take a according to the noun. So noun is noise. Then we take subject, they. Then verb. As verb, we can take make, and then exclamation mark. So what the sentence? What a noise they make. So let's see more examples like it. What a portrait she drew. What a fool I am. So we can see next structure. Yes. What, after that a or an, and then adjective, then noun, then subject, and then verb, and then exclamation mark. So here goes what, then a, then need adjective. As adjective we take wonderful, then news as a noun, then subject, this, and then verb is, and lastly exclamation mark. So what's the sentence? What a wonderful news this is. Yes. So let's see more examples like it. What an image she has clicked. What a great man he was. What a pretty girl she is. Sometimes we use some sort of exclamatory words like hooray, gosh, etc. at the beginning of exclamatory sentences. For example, hurrah. What's the expression? Joy or happiness. See the example? Hurrah! We have won the game. Or hooray! We are going for a picnic. So, joy or happiness. Alas! Sorrow or ill luck. For example, alas! His father is no more. Or, alas! The experiment was a failure. So, here alas is saying about something sorrow or ill luck. These are the exclamatory words by which we can make exclamatory sentences. Now we will go to the practice session. Yes, practice session 1. What we need to do? We need to place the following jumbled words in proper order to make exclamatory sentences. Exactly. Number 1, is beautiful city this how? Yes, it is jumbled. So how you can correct it? So here will be how come first, and then adjective, beautiful, then subject, then verb. So sentence is, how beautiful the city is. Exactly. So see the next sentence, is fascinating. How this? Answer will be, how fascinating this is. Number 3, own, we, hooray, series, the. So the proper order will be, hooray, we own the series. Exactly. Number 4, peaceful is what road these are. So the proper order will be, what a peaceful road this is. Now let's recap. So far we have discussed about structures of interrogative sentences, structures of imperative sentences, and structures of exclamatory sentences. Now the obvious part, homework. So what you need to do? You need to write a short story within 200 words. Use at least 2 interrogative sentences, 2 imperative sentences, and 2 exclamatory sentences in the story. After completing this homework in a separate notebook, you must submit to your English teacher when your school opens. It is a part of our continuous assessment. So thank you very much. Follow the instructions of government and stay safe. To watch this class again, keep in touch with Facebook page and YouTube channel of Amar Ghore, Amar School. Thank you again from Amar Ghore, Amar School. Goodbye.